A while back, Salesforce announced their software is going headless. The head is the interface, the thing you log into and click around every day. They're saying, from now on, AI agents pull data straight from underneath. The interface is optional. So I sat through an entire 16Z conversation about it. One guest wrote the essay, "Is Software Losing Its Head?" The other ran Microsoft's Word, Excel, and Windows. He built the stickiest software on earth. Conclusion up front. The head really is falling off. But the 3 layers underneath: data, logic, exceptions. The giants won't give up a single one. And the way your company pays for software is going to change within 2 years. Introductions first. Seema Amble, partner on a 16Z's enterprise team. The headless software essay is hers. Steven Sinofsky, former head of Microsoft Office and Windows, now an A16Z board partner.
Pinning the disclosure. A16Z is heavily invested in AI software startups. This conversation's thesis, incumbents can't build great agents. The opportunity belongs to startups, points the same way as their portfolio. Relaying it is said, just remember the direction.
First, what actually happened with headless. Salesforce made a big announcement of headless 360. Amble's verdict was blunt. Nothing changed in the product. The APIs that always existed got a new name. But the name itself is a signal. The giants are admitting that the thing accessing software is shifting from humans to agents. An agent doesn't need an interface. It doesn't care how the fields are arranged. It takes the data straight through the API.
One relayed number. Agent usage inside Slack is up roughly 300%. More and more people never log into the interface. They have the bot bring the data to them.
Sinofsky opened with a bucket of cold water, and I have to relay this one verbatim. An agent, he said, is a new name for a program that runs a very long time and might not finish. We used to call that a bug. After the roast, he handed over the sharpest tool of the whole conversation, a 3-way test. Everything an agent does to enterprise software breaks into exactly 3 kinds. Kind 1, lookup. Lightweight work. Old systems were always good at it. Many so-called headless agent APIs are just lookup with a new skin on it. Kind 2, act. Actually changing the data. And you hit the wall immediately. Acting as whose identity? With whose permissions? Does it count as a paid seat? The entire per-seat business model of enterprise software gets backed into a corner right here. Kind 3, analyze. Digging through data across systems, unbounded by time. Born for agents. But this is where hallucination is deadliest. Every step has to be verifiable, or what you get back is a very confident wrong report. Next time you hear a "We support agents" launch event, hold this ruler up to it. The quality shows instantly. So if the interface stops mattering, what's left of software's stickiness? This was the most valuable stretch of the conversation. After all, Sinofsky built the stickiest software there is. He says, don't listen to product managers talk features. The stickiest software is the software currently collecting your money. A company that wants to stop paying has to first figure out what happens after it stops. And that question alone kills most replacement plans. He told an old Microsoft story. No meeting ever said, let's make the calendar Outlook's moat. But when competitors actually came, it turned out General Motors couldn't move 600,000 seats. And what stuck was calendar delegation, a little feature nobody had ever thought about.
This one's worth pinning. What makes software sticky isn't designed. It gets exposed when someone threatens to replace you. When a customer yells, I'm switching you out, go listen to where they get stuck. That's your real moat.
Which brings us to the bullseye of the conversation. SAP. There's a fashionable claim in Silicon Valley right now. A Postgres database, a pile of APIs, some AI-written code, and you've replaced SAP. Both guests said the same thing. That is a wild underestimation. Sinofsky put it most brutally. Take SAP out of a car company, and the car company ceases to exist. Ford and Toyota buy steel and aluminum from roughly the same suppliers. What actually distinguishes them is which screens they chose to look at and which customizations they made. A company's operations get coded, line by line, into the software. He threw in another story. In the 80s, they went to Goldman Sachs to pitch Excel, and the Goldman guy said, "I don't think you understand. We make more money from Excel than you do." Customization isn't enterprise software's flaw. Customization is the enterprise. In the 90s, Larry Ellison spent years ranting that enterprise software was stupid because everyone customized it. Just live with the 80% solution. The customer's reply? You're just selling the software that only does 80%.
One more reference to PIN. U.S. insurance still runs COBOL systems written 50 to 75 years ago, older than everyone in the room. What makes Stripe remarkable is that it was the first time in 2 generations anyone rewrote the software for collecting money from scratch.
So what can AI actually bite off? Their answer is elegant. Look at the 2 most used features in all of enterprise software: export to Excel and export to CSV. Software can produce any report. Nobody can figure out how to make it do so. Export is the escape valve of the working world. And large language models are the first thing in history that can swallow that pile of exports and produce the analysis you actually wanted. AI's first bite out of enterprise software happens right here. But the hardest bone comes with it. Exceptions. Sinofsky, verbatim. Almost everything interesting in an enterprise is an exception. His example is delightfully down to earth. Watch people at a McDonald's kiosk. 2 minutes in, they give up, walk to the counter, and order a McFlurry with 2 flavors mixed. The machine doesn't have that option. Enterprise automation gets stuck on exactly this kind of thing. Amble's addition cuts deeper. Customers in Asia get answered one way, customers in the US another. This deal can take a discount. That one can't. None of these rules live in any Salesforce field. They live in some veteran employee's head. That's the real identity of the buzzword context graph. Exceptions, permissions, and the policies that never fit in a field. The furthest along this road is Amazon. Their creed, never use a human if you can avoid it. Wrong item shipped? The bot just sends you a new one. Keep the old one. Then that data flows back to fix the warehouse and the product page. AI didn't eliminate exceptions. It's rewriting what handling an exception means. Now the question everyone fears. After full automation, is there any work left? The conversation offered a judgment worth chewing on for the next 2 years. Sinofsky said, "Every fear about AI is built on the same wrong assumption, treating the work to be done as a fixed quantity." His example, expense reports. Spreadsheets, then automation. Done? No. The company immediately discovers it can analyze travel data, and travel performance optimization becomes a job that never existed before. The long tail didn't get shorter. It grew in a new direction. Same in law. AI can write contracts now, so contracts won't get fewer. They'll get longer, cover more scenarios, and spawn more business around them.
They also brought up the radiology case. Radiologists embraced AI broadly, and now the US has a radiologist shortage. They flagged it themselves, correlation, not causation. But the direction says one thing: demand is not static.
Time to lay out the 4 chairs. Chair 1, the giants. Will Salesforce and Workday let themselves be beheaded? Not a chance. Workday's APIs have been deliberately hard to use for years. The docs are hard to even get. Release all the data, and you become a dumb database. No software wants to be intermediated by a layer above it. That's a decaying business. Chair 2, the engineers. To them, everything is an API. Everything can be piped. But even their own world doesn't work that way. An open source project deciding whether to fix a bug runs on a group of humans deliberating and taking responsibility. There is no API for it. Closing the books, pricing, approvals, same logic. Chair 3, the founders. 16Z's playbook is blunt. Don't attack an old category head-on. That's the hardest and dumbest path. Stand between 2 giants. In a big technology shift, the one thing incumbents will never do is disturb their existing product line. Chair 4, yours. The person who uses software for a living. Over the next 2 years, you'll log into interfaces less and less, and ask agents in a chat box more and more. But remember the 3-way test. Lookup. The agent handles it. Act. Stuck on permissions and your company's seat bill. Exceptions. For now, still you. 3 history lessons. 1. The fate of middleware. Every generation, someone tries to build the layer above all software. Microsoft got sued by the Justice Department over middleware. The middle layer always looks great in architecture diagrams and is never stable in reality. The MCPs of the world are answering the same old question. 2. How HTTP and HTML won. Not by doing client-server better, by doing none of what it did and implementing the same concept a completely new way. The giants had $1 trillion on the old architecture. The web grew up beside it anyway. 3. Adoption spreads by virus, not procurement. The 80s Excel TV ad was a man in an elevator hugging a laptop, spreadsheet open, the whole elevator crowding and asking what I asked that? Sinofsky says chat in 2025 is the exact same scene. He prompted a white paper for a friend at SAP, and it spread through her team instantly. Enterprise software's biggest network effect lives inside the company. My take, in one sentence. The word headless is backwards. What's falling off isn't the software's head. It's the interface between you and the software. And the 3 layers. Data, logic, exceptions. Each will fight its own war over who gets to bill. For the next 2 years, 4 signals. 1. Whether the giant's agent interfaces are genuinely open or fake open. Whether the docs are complete decides if it's a platform or a dumb database. 2. How per-seat pricing gets rewritten. Whether an agent counts as a seat, the biggest business model rewrite in software in a decade. 3. Agent usage in chat entrances. Is that 300% line still climbing? 4. Funding for the new species standing between 2 giants. Where the money flows is more honest than any podcast. Whether software loses its head, I don't know. But your next software bill won't be priced per head. I'm Ashley. The bullet is still in flight. See you next episode.